Well, it's NXT TakeOver XXX. Please don't Google it, especially don't Google it on your work computers. Predictions time, where we're going to be giving our predictions for the show. We haven't had a chance to make a normal prediction style video for this as we would. So Adam and I thought we would just hop on WrestleTalk Clips and on WrestleTalk's Facebook to chat through what we think is going to happen on the show. Adam has a pretty bold... Oh, actually, before we get into that, I would just want to say we had a super chat just on the end of the NXT review that came in last minute. I just want to get to it. Wyatt Yapple came in and said, Keith Lee, main roster after SummerSlam, ? And my answer to that will happen later in the show because I think it plays very into what's going to happen in that finale match. And we'll obviously talk about the title match right at the end.
What a little structuralist you are.
I know. I want
a whole program. Well done.
That's what I want for viewer retention. I want one person to watch it all the way to the end because they super chatted in to know the answer to this. And I will tell you, but it's at the end of the show.
So AEW in the stream? Are they watching? Are they?
Adam and I obviously we had
long form storytelling. They're so great at booking wrestling. Are you in the stream, AEW?
AEW here, or did you leave and we insulted you? Come back, AEW. If you didn't happen to be on the NXT review that we just did, Adam and I were being silly and saying some stuff. We were being silly and saying some stuff about AEW, and AEW were watching. And now a panic has happened at WrestleTalk, and I'm sure.
Sorry, Ollie. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, there goes my bonus this year. But whatever. We'll crack on because Adam has a very bold prediction, I believe, for the premiere match of this takeover card, the match that everybody wants to see, the match that they are putting on this show for. This is one of the biggest milestones in NXT history. This is the 30th takeover they've ever done. So they needed a match that really reflected the level of time and effort they put into building new stars and new talent over all the years that NXT has been running. They needed some of the biggest names they've ever made to take part in a match. So that is why Adam Cole is taking on Pat McAfee. Mr. Patrick McAfee.
Yes.
Who do you think is going to win, Adam, out of Adam Cole, longest reigning NXT champion ever, and as I'm reliably informed, NFL footballer, podcaster, television personality.
Huntsman,
yes.
Hang on.
Snow White and the Puntsman, Pat McAfee.
Let me just hang on. I'm not sure if this is... this take is hot enough. I think Pat McAfee is going to be Adam Cole, baby. Do you know why I think he's going to defeat Pat McAfee? Why Pat McAfee is going to beat him? Because I think...
You hate yourself and me and everyone else in the wrestling community.
I don't like fun. No, I think Pat McAfee is going to win. I think everyone's going to be really, really cross. And I think this is going to be the galvanizing sort of lightning strike behind a Kyle O'Reilly heel turn.
Oh, you think Kyle O'Reilly is going to turn on the Undisputed Era?
Yes.
Wow.
I think Kyle O'Reilly is amazing. I think anyone who's seen Kyle O'Reilly on the Indies in Ring of Honor, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, knows that he's not just the funniest member of the Undisputed Era. He is phenomenal. He's unbelievable. You can keep your Undisputed Era merch. You can definitely keep your Adam Bebe merch. Build Kyle O'Reilly as as the Seth Rollins of the Undisputed era.
You sound like Pat McAfee now, don't you?
I can't help but fire promos. I think, and I do this with predictions, but I build a little story for myself and I fixate on it. And I've also got another little one for later on in the show. Ooh. But I think that Pat McAfee is going to have his ass handed to him, but at the last moment, Kyle O'Reilly is going to cost because Kyle O'Reilly came back and he was just like, "We are the Undisputed Era. you're Adam Cole, you're blah, blah, blah. You know, we are going to be tag team champions. And Adam Cole got into a thing with Pat McAfee and cost Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish the tag belts. Kyle O'Reilly had, I spent because I was so fixated on this, I spent the entire time looking at Kyle O'Reilly's face. Kyle O'Reilly is pissed off. He has been for the entire last few episodes. He's got this kind of new horrible look of the kind of the thick beard with the no tash. I think it's time to cut him loose and create a megastar heel in Kyle O'Reilly. And I think the best way to do that would be to create something that genuinely no one wants to see, which is Pat McAfee pinning Adam Cole. No, I don't want it either, but that's the point. That's the point of heel heat. It's got to be something you don't want. And I think Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole is the last great feud of Adam Cole's time in NXT. I think Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole on a takeover, take my money, and I think it starts on Saturday.
So I'm going for Adam Cole because I think this is the lunge towards babyface for Adam Cole that they're trying to sort of repackage the Undisputed Era on the more face end of the spectrum. I think Pat McAfee actually this week did a really fantastic job of making me hate him, but for being a character and for doing a really fire promo. And I really was quite down on this feud before this. And then they made it about wrestling. And Pat McAfee really made it about Adam Cole is actually now fighting for the honor of wrestling and, craft and putting in your time and paying your dues. And Pat McAfee has walked into a really big match with one of the best performers that NXT has ever had on one of the biggest shows that they've ever done. And then also had that sort of the gumption to insult the marks at home for being ignorant and watching WWE. So yeah, I really think this is about Adam Cole fighting for all of our honor. And in that case, I want to see Adam Cole pinning Pat McAfee. And I think Pat McAfee is a great foil for that because he has done wonderful work making himself sort of the belittling force here and making wrestling seem small. And you just want to see wrestling conquer Pat McAfee to really cement Adam Cole as the premier babyface in NXT.
I think you're probably right. I think it kind of makes sense that would happen. But the way I look at it is, and it's probably, again, I'm thinking myself out of this. I should just go with what WWE are likely to do. But it's NXT, damn it. A bit more thought goes into it. Think about what you get out of this match. If Adam Cole wins, you've had a fun little 2-week feud to build up a celebrity match in which Adam Cole gets a bit of revenge. If Adam Cole loses, it'd be pandemonium because you've had the longest reigning NXT superstar of all time beaten by a celebrity. And if either Kyle O'Reilly or maybe even the entire Undisputed Era turn on him, do a Bullet Club, kick him out, and yeah, Kyle becomes the new leader of the Bullet Club. Of the kicky Bullet Club,
the Undisputed Era,
the Undisputed Era. I want T-shirt rights for that. But I think you get much more out of it. Weirdly, if Pat McAfee wins, and I'm sorry.
No, I think that's a good long-term booking, but I think NXT has been quite obsessed with short-term pops recently, and this feels like a short-term pop. The pre-show match, well, I'm assuming it's a pre-show match, is Breezango versus Legado del Fantasma versus Lorcan and Birch, which is a number one contendership for the tag team titles. Now, I'm really torn here because I could see you've got Imperium, the heel champions, and you've got Lorcan and Birch, who I think would make a good foil for them and would put on a really good match. You've also got Breezango as a babyface team to go up against them. But I just think go with momentum. Let's have Legado win here and let's forget who's heel and who's face in the Imperium match. And let's just have two wicked sweet factions knock 7 bells out of each other for our amusement on the NXT after TakeOver. That's a match I really want to see. Legado del Fantasma have been taking up a lot of TV time recently. This is the booking that makes sense to me. So I'm going Legado del Fantasma because also I think it's the freshest match of the lot. I would love to see Mendoza and Wilde get a bit of TV time separate to just backing up Escobar and having something to do. And I could also see them with the belts. Him as the cruiserweight champ and them with the gold. Oh, I'd like it. Give it to me. Who have you got?
I've got Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. This was the match that was, I think, supposed to happen. Like for a long time, NXT were kind of booking that way. They did that promo of Lorcan and Burch in the pub talking about Imperium. Then they had a little kind of showdown. Then they had the number 1 contenders triple threat, which Lorcan and Burch lost. Breezango won it. I think again, it feels too early to take the belts off Imperium, and so I think who is the best team in NXT to put on an amazing match and lose with honor and glory? It's Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. I think it's a bit too early because, like, you don't want the Legado to lose to Imperium, and you don't particularly want Imperium to lose to Legado as well. So I think Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch pin Breezango to win. I don't think Legado get involved in the pin.
My only reasoning behind that is just because Imperium was such a panic pick anyway, because they obviously had Riddle and Dunn had to separate, and then you had Thatcher, and then you were really building a Riddle and the Thatcher storyline. So they were just like, well, Imperium are a safe pair of hands to take the belts off them. That's fine. Do that. And yeah, they just haven't been featured, and they don't really have a story. So I think I'd go where the story is, and Legado del Fantasma really feels like the story in NXT right now of these 3 teams. Up next is a match that was made like 20 minutes ago. This was made official. It's Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher. Things I didn't know I wanted until they were offered to me. Yes, please, mother. Can I have some more? Because this all spilled out of the North American Championship qualifying match from last night, in which Finn Balor took on Velveteen Dream. Balor got jumped by Thatcher towards the end of the match, which was part of the sort of steamrolling of Dream into the victory. This match has now been made. This is your obligatory Finn Balor does a match on a takeover. I am torn. Who are you going to go for, Adam Blampied?
Big Bally Balor. I think, Finn's so good, and he's absolutely killing it. And I think he's sort of got this kind of overperforming on takeover kind of hot streak going. I think he will get his revenge on Thatcher. It does feel like a sort of hastily put together match. It could go either way, which is just a testament to how great Thatcher's been of recent weeks with his Thatch can. But I've got Finn.
Yeah, I also have Finn. I think he is kind of on the momentum train. I think you want Finn in the picture to. I think you could really use Finn to be one of the next contenders for the NXT Championship, but maybe in a losing effort to just really cement whoever you pick as that guy. If Finn Balor's coming after him, that feels like a big money feud, and you don't necessarily have to have Finn Balor win. I think he can kind of maintain. He's kind of bulletproof at the moment, so I think he's exactly. I was going to do it, and then I was like, "That's probably too cheesy," but you went there, and then Finn.
Lowest denominator, baby.
Yeah, so I don't think Timothy's going to be stretching Finn out for the count. So yeah, I do really. I could see it going either way. Oh, I'm so torn. I'm sticking with Finn. Right. This is the one that I think is probably the hardest to pick because there are more entrants. This is the North American title ladder match. This is Damian Priest versus Cameron Grimes versus Johnny Gargano versus Big Boy Bronson Reed versus the Velveteen Dream. Now, in my initial decision for this, when I didn't know who the last entrant was, I had Finn Balor picked. I was like, I think they're going to do something funky at the top. So I want the American title on a really safe pair of hands in the middle to be like, there's a draw, there's a legit draw as a champion. Someone was going to say Finn Balor. Then Finn Balor didn't win that match to get in this thing. And so Velveteen Dream is kind of the person taking that as a tenured NXT talent. Considering what happened with Velveteen Dream and the backlash to him reappearing last week on NXT, I don't think that's the direction they're going to go in. I think for Johnny Gargano to win the North American title again is a bit of a step down. I really do feel like the direction for his character is to go for the NXT championship while Candice goes for the women's championship. That's the story I want to see. So I'm actually going for Damian Priest as the winner of this. I think he's been in NXT for plenty, like he's been there quite a long time without really achieving very much. He's had a really good babyface run recently. Babyface. Like he had that sort of babyface turn in the match with Balor, and I think that he really got so much out of that at Takeover in Your House. And I do think he feels like he's on the ascent. Like Bronson Reed ended this week's NXT holding the championship, but as that is normally the sign of like, that's the one who won't win it, last one to hold it. You don't want to, like, it's a game of hot potato. You don't want to be the last person holding it. So I do think Priest is the right choice here because I think he's got that kind of presence to be the North American champion. And he really gives that division like a figurehead that does seem like quite insurmountable. So he's someone to really strive against. So yeah, that's my pick. Who are you going to go for?
So I was going to pick Priest because I think you're right. Everything you've said is very, very smart, Laurie. You are probably in WrestleTalk up there with Ollie as being the smartest predictor in the office.
Ollie picked MVP.
I know.
Three times.
I was joshing. No, I think you generally can fairly be relied upon. You and Luke go for, I think you try and get inside WWE's head when you book. And I think for that reason, I think it probably will be Priest. But for some reason, I don't know why, I am fixated. I can't shake the idea that it's Grime time.
Cameron Grimes.
He's going to take the North American Championship to the moon. I was like literally up until you asking me, I was going to be like, I'm just going to say Priest. I'm just going to say Priest. I'm just going to say Priest because that's probably what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But sort of, I am ahead of Ollie Davis in the predictions. I don't care about winning. It's not about that. It's about having fun. So I'm going to have
winning.
I'm going to have some fun. As long as
that's what losers say. It's not about winning.
You show me a good loser, and I'll show you.
They don't give out a medal for second and third place, Adam.
Yes, they do. It's the Olympics. What are you talking about? They give.
They don't in this. They don't in this competition, Adam, because we don't have the budget to get 2 more trophies.
I sod it. Right? Let's go big. Go home. Go to the moon. Cameron Grimes.
Do you know what? I can see it.
I think he provides a different kind of champion. I think Priest will be like your fighting babyface champion. Sure, fine. Like Damian Priest could do with something to properly legitimize his babyface turn, which is why I think they are going to go with Priest. But I think Cameron Grimes will be such a slippery little bastard of a champion. Killer Cross will be just like monster heel on top of the promotion. Whereas Cameron Grimes can just be like this little weasel, just kind of like scurrying away. But he's also so good. Mm-hmm. Like he could have proper takeover quality matches, and he hasn't really had a chance to, which is weird. Like he's been on a losing end a lot and hasn't really gotten the chance to do like takeover stuff. And I think, yeah, let's make a star with Cameron Grimes. Let's do it. Grime time.
You know what? Like, if my vote was to be bought, then you've almost bought it, because I can see in that logic of like WWE do love a swerve, and if I was going to swerve anyone, Cameron Grimes is my pick, because he is a man who has been bedunked on by just about everyone. There was a big moment in that finale brawl, like, you know, where he comes out and he's all annoying and he gets pushed in the ring and he gets his comeuppance from like 4 different people and doesn't actually really get off any proper offense against anyone in the massive brawl at the end. And yeah, Cameron Grimes then walking out being like, hoo-wee, I won the title. Look at me.
I'm going to go to Jolly World.
Yes. I can see it. Like I really can, but I am sticking with Priest and hopefully sticking where the points are. So last 2 matches, we have Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's Championship. I felt like this was a very foregone conclusion. This was going to be an Io Shirai reaction. It feels a bit early to take the belt off her, especially after they took the belt off Rhea so quickly and they took the belt off Charlotte so quickly. You don't want the women's championship just be hot-shotted around the company until they find someone they're like, that's the right person to hold it for a long time, or just for the sake of like a cheap pop on a takeover. However, the inclusion of Raquel Gonzalez at least alludes to this being a closer fought competition than I initially thought it was going to be. And I think it will definitely be a win for Io, but it's going to come at some sort of cost. So I'm excited to see where they go with this, because I definitely think they could get a good little feud out of this between Kai and Io Shirai, and hopefully they don't just move them on to the next people, because I do think the tag team, the team of Kai and Gonzalez will pay dividends at some point and is money. Like it's a great little pairing. She's such an annoying Weasley little heel. But like you said, she's got all those delusions of like, I've done it on my own. I've done it on my own. Do not look to my right where there is a towering figure of a woman who's just kicked your head off, but I've done it on my own. And yeah, I do think they one, I think Dakota Kai deserves to be in this position. Like, she's worked really bloody hard to be there. And she's been really great on NXT TV. And she's done so much hard work to put other people over as monsters and heels and champions, and, you know, all that stuff she did with Shayna Baszler where she kept getting her arms stomped on. Yeah, she's worked her ass off to be there. And I'm just really excited for the match. But yeah, I do think Io's going to win.
Yeah, I think it's not. It's like one more takeover's time. If this was happening, I could really see them putting on Kai and having her kind of henchwoman be like the difference maker, really build up that relationship over the course of a title reign, maybe having to break up. Maybe you got this like MJF Wardlow thing going on. I think it's going to be Io, mostly because I'm in love with the idea of Candice taking it off Io and them doing a kind of like Johnny being the heater to Candice, basically.
I'd love that.
I'd love that too. And I kind of haven't let go of that idea yet. So that's primarily why I'm sticking with Io. I think Dakota's brilliant. And I think hopefully this match will just basically cement Dakota Kai as a main eventer in NXT, and then maybe down the line, who knows? But yeah, it could be the right time for her. I don't know, because she's so great. And I think, yeah, the HBK Diesel dynamic, it works. It's proven. I am going to stick with Io just because of our main event.
Yeah, and also in my head, I'm sitting there thinking, come takeover at WrestleMania weekend, the match that I want to see for the women's division to be their main event. I want to see Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley, and that's when Rhea Ripley can take the belt off Io Shirai, and 1 year after losing the title, is recrowned as the NXT Women's Champion. And I really do think that's kind of the direction they're going to push it in, because they are keeping Rhea Ripley really hot, but just not in the NXT Championship picture. So the finale, the hard choice. So obviously this feels very soon to be doing this for Mr. Keith Lee, but Keith Lee is taking on Karrion Kross, the NXT Championship hanging in the balance, as Karrion Kross says, probably over the precipice, the gaping maw of a volcano, lava bubbling away beneath you. This is really hard to predict, because I feel my gut says that Karrion Kross has to win. The way he's been booked, everything about this screams Karrion Kross is going to maul Keith Lee and walk out as the champion. It feels very soon for Keith Lee to be losing the title, but then there's just that bit in my head that's just like, but I imagine the offices at NXT, every week they're getting a phone call being like, well, can we have Keith yet? Can we have Keith yet? Can we have Keith yet? What about this week? No, we're going to grind you down. So if anyone was to take the title off Keith Lee and it not damage him, Karrion Kross is the man to do it. Like there is no shame in this defeat for Keith Lee, because this does just feel like, one, he's on a wave of momentum that he should ride all the way to the top of Raw or SmackDown, whichever one he ends up on. And two, Karrion Kross has been booked like an unbeatable monster. So losing to that, if Keith Lee lost to Cameron Grimes, then I'd be like, oh man, that sucked. But Karrion Kross beating Keith Lee, I can completely get on board with. And that's why I think Karrion Kross is going to be walking out as the NXT champion. And I really, really hope they do it, because it will be such a dynamic shift for the division to have this monster on top. And I can't wait to see how they build someone to try and take that belt off him. Adam, who are you going for?
They did not feed Tommaso Ciampa to Karrion Kross to have him not win this match. Absolutely nailed on. It's not nailed on. Anything could happen in wrestling, but Karrion Kross should 100% win this match. like you said, he's unbeatable monster. He's really exciting. That promo of, like we mentioned it in our NXT podcast review, but yeah, you think you've been climbing to the top of the mountain, and then now you're there. Do you realize it's a volcano? Absolutely beautiful. I so excited about Karrion Kross. Do it. Why not? Cowards, smash him over. Use the outrage of it's too soon to take the belts off Keith Lee. Use that outrage and just funnel it all into this horrible, cruel, vicious little monster. Not vicious, not little. Horrible, vicious, big monster. The Luke Owen kind of ultimate Digivolve monster. Get him.
I want to make that now. I'm going to make that in thingy after this.
Digivolve. But put the belt on Karrion Kross. You should it's a case of striking while the iron's hot. I think NXT understands that better than most people. Like, generally speaking, they too tend to go with like who the most exciting prospect is. Sometimes they go out of left field to create an exciting prospect, which I think they did, like for example Bronson Reed. But I think in this case, all the signs are pointing to it's Karrion Kross's time. And I can't wait for this match. Most hyped for an NXT match I've been all year.
Yeah, they've done remarkable work with this feud, and the way Karrion Kross has been presented. Like, everything that they've done with Karrion Kross is built to this moment, and it has been a pitch perfect build for a character. Probably one of the most perfect builds for a character since Aleister Black, maybe. Every single move they've made here has just made him look more and more like a star. Yeah. And I think it would do. It's actually a case of it would do more damage to Karrion Kross to lose than it would do to Keith Lee to lose. About even if Keith Lee was staying in NXT, there's stories to be told there in which, Keith Lee asked for this match. Karrion Kross said, name a time and place, and he was like, "Well, I want this match to take over for the belt, whatever." But then Keith Lee also gave up the North American title a little bit before that because he was like, I didn't want to stifle the division. And you can tell the story if you lose the belt here. It's like, well, you also gave up the other belt just a week before you booked yourself into this match, you Burke. And Keith Lee can have this kind of existential crisis of man, I was a double champ and I gave one away and then I lost the other one. Why did I throw it all away? There's plenty to be done in NXT even, but I do really think Keith Lee is on his way up. And that is the kind of excitement that Raw and SmackDown could really, really do with someone like Keith Lee, especially as Survivor Series is coming up. And I think they want him for one of the teams that they want to win this year for Survivor Series. So, Keith Lee, I think he's done an amazing run as champion, but I am calling his time. It is Karrion Kross's moment. Go with what's right. TikTok, baby. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought, what you think is going to happen at TakeOver. Just give us your predictions. We'll be knocking about in the comments over the coming days, and we'll reply to you as we go. And if you are watching this on catch-up, please click the videos that have appeared on screen to watch more awesome WrestleTalk Clips things, because that's where we are. We're on Clips, and I forgot that for a second. I almost said WrestleTalk. There'll probably be buttons and stuff floating around as well. You can press all of those. I don't know what they do. This is the first thing of this kind we've done on WrestleTalk Clips, but I'm sure you can just bap some and stuff will happen. Please also subscribe to the channel, because this is the easiest. If you don't have time to watch all the live streams that we do during the week, Vinny does an amazing job of cutting them all down into the very best moments. One I would like to highlight particularly is the AEW turning up in the chat for Monday's Raw one, which is worth watching because it will then probably lead into the one that he's going to get from our NXT review earlier, in which we undid all that hard work. So, please do stick around on WrestleTalk Clips and watch some stuff. Also join us on Sunday, because we are going to be live streaming our reactions to SummerSlam. Sadly, none of us are around to do TakeOver or do the review this weekend, as we all have prior plans. Very sorry for that, but we'll give our thoughts in the week as to what we thought of the show. Join us for the reactions to SummerSlam, because it is one of the most important times for WrestleTalk and PartFunKnown collectively. And I think Adam's got a little video that might explain why.
I certainly do. It is the people who brought you, and I do hate saying it, #FTF. It is Team Fightful. It is Sean and Denise. Representing Jam That Jam, a better hashtag. It is Team Wrestle Talk.
We're the main event. We're the stars of Quizlemania. We are The Rock. We are Austin.
Here we are, me and my best friend Denise, that all day.
This whole FTF JTJ thing comes to an end at SummerSlam. Let's have a super chat party.
If I win, I want hashtag FTF that to be the official WrestleTalk slogan.
All right, SummerSlam.
What?
Yeah,
What?
okay. No, me and you have got this, Luke. At SummerSlam, it's going to be FTF versus JT. And the winner, either that goes away forever, once and for all. And if you win, that will become the channel official slogan.
Wow.
Scenes, lads.
Absolute scenes. Absolute effing scenes. You'll get a chance to vote come the SummerSlam live reaction. So please do join us for that and decide the future of WrestleTalk and PartFunKnown and Ollie's forearm hair, I guess, because he's going to have to get that written on it for the whole time he presents the news.
What has he done?
What has he done? Thank you so much for watching, guys. I've been Alfagador. That's been Adam Blampied. And that was NXT Predictions.